Welcome to the Fantasy Goons podcast, part of the Pucks Out family. It's time to skip the book and find out the info you need to win your league with Bobby, Davey, and Brandon.
Welcome into the Fantasy Goons. I'm Bobby. He's Davey. There's a ghost in here, and he's Brandon.
Heyo!
You can find us in the three majors of social media for now at Pucks Out Pod. We are getting a little bit closer to getting the Twitter account for this show up and running, which your boy Davey I think will be running. Now let's get you the info you need to be a champ. How are you guys this week?
Doing great. Wonderful. I am so pumped to say that the Dallas Stars have signed two University of North Dakota hockey players. So I'm pumped to see Jordan Kawaguchi and Adam Scheel potentially make the roster. I'd probably say next year we'd see Kawaguchi up there a few times. But I'm excited about that. That's my good news of the day.
Awesome. Always good to hear some good news. How about you, Bondo?
Yeah, I'm sure that since the last time that I spoke to you, this is coming out much later. I'm sure I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk about some fantasy hockey. We got playoffs coming up soon, boys. We're gonna, we might have to pump out a little extra for the peoples.
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
Yeah. You kidding me?
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. So we gotta get some folks prepared.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna have a little shorter episode next week. So just be ready for that. Because we're gonna be hitting a game.
We gotta pump you up, and then we're gonna hit you with the shorty.
Yeah,
just a real quick, right before your playoffs, folks. If you've come to rely on us, that's really on you.
Yeah,
we're more of a supplemental. If you're looking for some more data driven, more than just we need to.
Don't listen to him. Tune into us every week, only to us. All right, let's jump right into the news. Some trade candidates you'd like to see moved for fantasy. I think mainly we're talking Kyle Palmieri and Taylor Hall. The trade deadline is, on Monday. So Kyle Palmieri, for fantasy, obviously, on the main show we talked about for the player, for the team, where would you like to see him fall for his fantasy value? I mean, I think anywhere would be kind of better. I mean, one of the prospective teams that would pick him up. So what are y'all's thoughts?
Who are we seeing in the hunt for him right now? Who are you reading?
It was on the other doc. Let me check it. I believe it's Boston, the Islanders.
Give me Islanders all day long.
Edmonton, and the Penguins, maybe? But yeah, I think we both agreed on Islanders.
I'm all for Islanders. Slide him in right there. Play him in second line, easy.
Which we said the same for Taylor Hall as well.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Well, it would make sense. That's just going to bolster that line. They're already a dang good hockey team. You put him in there, and it's just
on Palmieri, I think I actually landed on Boston.
Yeah, I think
as the best option. Yeah, I'm sorry, I lied about.
That's a good choice too.
Taylor Hall to Islanders, what we had more.
Yeah. I think the Islanders have a little bit more cap space, and Boston needs some scoring past their first line.
Yeah.
And I think Kyle Palmieri would give them that for, a much cheaper price than Taylor Hall.
Yeah,
they couldn't afford.
Both are good choices. I think do you think we're definitely going to see a Taylor Hall go this season? Do you think we're going to see?
So it just came out right before we started. It looks like the Sabres are sitting Taylor Hall tonight.
Oh,
so looks like the writing's on the wall that he's getting traded. So
we just gotta do different takes for every different option and make Bobby have to sort through them.
Yeah,
just be like, dude, they called it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that.
Oh my gosh, how did this? They were spot on.
Taylor Hall goes to the Preds, guys. That's my call. So
you say that, but before we begin the first one, there was the Preds are actually in the mix of teams calling about Taylor. Yeah,
I believe it.
And when I was telling him how crazy it would be if now is the year David Poile finally says, "All right, now we're going to get a winger." After years of not pressing that button, we're struggling. It looks like we might be sellers. Taylor Hall.
We're on the cusp of a
fourth place,
impressive playoff spot here,
where we have to play Tampa in the first round.
Oh gosh,
we're beating a Columbus team that barely is just beating themselves. If we're being honest,
we don't need two Matt Duchene's on the team, so that's what I think about Taylor Hall.
We don't need one Matt Duchene on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So we got some weekly impressions, correct?
Yep. Have the Lightning lost a step? Obviously, their record says they have. They have won 2 out of their last 6 games, some of those being against Detroit. Do you guys think that this is just, I mean, they're a talented team. They're one of the best teams in the league, and I believe they're still top of their division as a recording. Are they not? Did they get surpassed by Florida? Panthers? Okay.
One more game played.
Yeah.
So,
do you think, obviously now it's not the time you want to lose a step, but this could be good for the Preds if we got to play them in the first round? They're kind of losing their momentum.
I think timing wise for the Preds, it could be good. I don't think that this is going to last. This team is incredible, proved it time and time. Every year they keep on showing how good they are. Their depth is there. We've talked about this team probably every other week almost on this podcast for fantasy relevance, and they're still a fantasy relevant team. I think it's just they're going to bounce back. They're coming back.
And
that's my opinion on it.
If you've got Lightning's players, well, A, good for you. B, don't pay attention to their listen, whether or not they're winning the game, Stamkos, they're big hitters, Vasi, they're all going to perform well for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they might be one of the few teams that none of us have ever faded so far.
Probably.
But I don't see any of us fading them at all this year. So put them in the lineup, play them. Davey, what you got?
So I've got the Honda West 4th spot. This is getting tight. This is getting interesting. San Jose, Arizona, and St. Louis are kind of in the hunt right now. I know we're talking about a 4th spot. We're not talking about exciting teams, but fantasy-wise, you could be streaming some of these options right now, especially Arizona, San Jose, as they start to gain a little traction. St. Louis, they're falling. I talk about them later in the show, but they're falling hard right now. So I think it's up for grabs between Arizona and San Jose. I wanted to get your guys' take on it. What you thought? Do we think Arizona is going to sneak into 4? Do you think San Jose is going to come back? They're not that many points back. So
and we talked about this on the main show too. Honestly, I've always been a big San Jose fan. I've always said if I wasn't a Preds fan, and if I wouldn't have, they were my 3rd team behind the Preds, the Habs, and then just because they have the dopest fucking colors in the league.
They're sick, yeah.
But yeah, I'm for real on San Jose, man. They have been getting amazing goaltender. Martin Jones have been looking like, Martin Jones. I don't think we've ever seen him play like this. Now it's just one little streak, but it's a game of streaks, man.
Yeah.
How long can you keep this streak going? Can you keep this hot streak long enough to sneak into the playoffs? And at that point, I was listening to something on the radio the other day, and this guy was saying that it's a myth that quote unquote anything can happen, and that what the Blues did a couple years ago was the worst thing to happen to hockey. But bullshit, man. You get in the playoffs. We've seen it time and time again in any sport. If you get hot at the right time, that's what matters. And San Jose and their players right now, they're looking hot. So yeah, I think now Arizona's looking hot too. So I think it's going to come down to. I think it's going to definitely come down to like 1 point between them. And I hope that it comes down to. I hope it's not a situation where they have to rely on somebody else to control their destiny. I hope that it's like the last game of the season, they play each other and winner gets in.
Yeah. Yeah,
because that's what you like to see. Which team is better? Not this team was better, but they played. This team played the Kings for the last couple games.
Yeah. Well, to be fair,
should have won.
Everybody's playing. Everybody's playing the same teams the same amount of times. There's no discrepancy at this point in time. I completely agree. I completely agree with that take, though. 100%. This is the dark horse Chicago Blackhawks from last year. That they're bad, but they have a lot of star power that you don't want to see come playoff time. So I think if San Jose picks it up, they could be a dangerous dark horse down the stretch. And I mean, again, it's one of those things that it translates to fantasy because, hey, if teams are pushing, they may make a little move here or there and, add something to the 3rd or 4th line that you're not seeing that gives your guy more ice time, that kind of stuff. I'm with you though. I mean, the Coyotes are looking good. They just got to win the games that they're dealt at this point.
Yeah.
So,
side note, I just want to say that I want San Jose, who's paying big dollars for these few players, to actually perform and prove to people why they did it. And I also want Bankrupt Kane to lead the team with the points and go into the playoffs and take their team far. I'd love to see it.
He's like that win bonus, baby.
And here you go, Bank.
He's like half of this is spoken for. They allow me an allowance. I have the Panthers Avs tied for the top spot in the league right now. We were, wondering, they were kind of sitting on that cusp of third place and second place, both of them. And now sitting up top, both teams are still hot. The Panthers, despite Ekblad's injury, it looks like they're still thriving. It's one of those. He's a great player, but that's not the style of hockey they play. They don't need one player specifically on the defense to allow them to win. So
I think there's something like 14-0-3 right now. The Avs. I'm looking at their. They have not lost a game in regulation since March 8th. And so 1,
all right,
2, 3,
nobody
4,
bet on them.
5,
Let's see
6,
how far this
7,
streak can
8,
actually go.
9,
Right.
10,
We're
11,
not
12.
allowed to ruin
They're
it.
13-0-2 since March 8th.
Jeez.
That's wild, bro.
All right, so sports betting is going to kill the record industry. So
yeah.
we got to not gamble on them to make it our fault.
So I'm betting on it.
So what game do they got?
They tomorrow night they play the Wild. And I mean, are we just gonna? I say we do it like roulette. Just keep betting against them, and every time double your bet until eventually you win.
That's the only logical thing
Yeah.
to do. if we're being honest, become destitute, but also we really proved our point on our fantasy hockey show. We showed that we were in.
Yeah. But all right. So let's move into our pickups. Philip Deneau, 18% available, 8 points in his last 6 games as of recording. Gallagher and Chariot are out. I think that there's going to be. I think the Habs is going to be pushing hard right now. They even though the Canucks might not be in a position to compete, Calgary is not far behind them. They're only about 8 points behind them. So yeah, I mean they're gonna and they've played Calgary twice this week. So look at them playing hard. I think Deneau is a quality pickup at 18% available. So look at him. Obviously, if you're in a deeper league, definitely go get him. And I believe he also has the most face-off wins in that league on that team. So good little Cats category right there.
Yeah, he's playing. He was bouncing back and forth second and third line for a minute there. I think when Stahl came in, it kind of solidified his third line role. So he's playing third line with Tomas Tatar and Kotkaniemi, it looks like right now, which is a good line. I mean, that's a solid third line. Any team I think would be happy with that. So I like the pick. That's good. I'm gonna run into mine. I did actually. It's you. You're next.
Okay. Yeah. I have Nick Ritchie, Boston left wing. We don't know if there may be somebody else coming in. I think if it's Palmieri, doesn't he plays right wing, if I'm not mistaken. But 5 points in his last 6 games, 10 goals, 10 assists all season, but 83 shots on goal, 62 hits, averaging about 17 minutes on ice. 4 games this week: Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it is a full type of slate. It might be tough to slide him in unless you need a left wing, obviously. But I think he's a good option. I've had him on a couple teams this year, throughout the year, streaming him in and out, and he's been adequate. He's been great for 24% owned guy. So.
And they're slotting him in second line, which is awesome. And I'm going to see if he's actually getting any power play time. But he's getting top power play line unit or he's on the top power play unit right now. So that actually is going to help you with that stat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I like that one. I'm rocking Alex Wenberg this week. Florida Panthers, 13% owned. He had a hat trick on April 3rd against Columbus. I know it's Columbus, but still, it's nice to see a Hattie out of there. That's when I think his I think he was at a 6%. It just, it went straight up to the 13 not long. Didn't take long after. I expect that by the time this airs to be higher. So I'd probably expect it to be over 20 at that point. But he's centering the second line with Huberdeau and Hornquist. I mean, those are great names. Hornquist playing good hockey this year. He was banged up a little bit. Looks like he's back and playing full force again. Wenberg, he's at 11 goals, 8 assists, 280 faceoffs. So he's going to get you 3 Cats at least for sure. Solid amount of points on those ones. I think he's a good pickup. You've got a little spot to add him. He's just a good pick. He's center left wing capabilities. And so I think you grab him. Florida Panthers, you can't go wrong with that team right now.
All right, let's move into our stream of the week. I've started out with the Capitals. They're the best right now in the East. That division is so competitive for that top spot. They got 2 against the Flyers, 1 against Buffalo, and 1 against Boston. And they are just heating up at the right time right now. Ovi is looking hot. I mean, it just everyone is just
so hot right now.
Interrupted myself with that, caught me off guard somehow. Yeah, so definitely stream those Capitals players. They're going to have a big week. I think they're going to split the games with the Flyers. They're going to demolish Buffalo, and I could see a shootout with Boston. I mean, that's just going to be a good matchup. Davey, what do you got?
Yeah, so I have the Minnesota Wild. I can comfortably say that the Wild are going to the playoffs at this point. They may even sneak into the second spot in the Honda West. 4 games this week, 1 against the struggling Blues, 1 against the Coyotes, and 2 against the Sharks. I think it's going to be a good week for the Wild. I think we're going to see a lot of goals in this one. I think we're going to see a good defensive effort as well, good goaltending. I think that if you got an opportunity for a goaltender over there, which I guess you might in some leagues, you grab them. Grab some of those depth guys as well, and just do your best to find them. Greenway's probably available. Zuccarello's probably available, and I mean that's probably Marcus Foligno's not back yet, so you're probably stuck with those 2 guys. Good grab candidates. I'm streaming the Wild this week.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, this whole season I haven't been too hot on the Wild, but they're starting to click a little bit.
Yeah, they look like a solid team. They look like a team that probably can go deep into the playoffs if they have the right matchup.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they split that series with the Sharks, though.
Yeah, well, with the Sharks playing good hockey, I wouldn't be surprised either, yeah.
All right, Bondo, what do you got?
I have the Vegas Golden Knights. I think they're going to have a good week. They have 4 games, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a Sunday. You know how I love that for my stream of the week if I can get a good option for it. 2 games against the Kings, 2 games against the Ducks. Some good options. They definitely need to win a few of these so they can make sure they hold on to their spot, kind of up top and being close to the Avs if they don't want to get blown out of here. So,
all right, let's move into tail and fade. I'm tailing the Avs, man. Like I said earlier, I think that either with the Canucks looking like they're going to be done for the season as far as realistically getting in the playoffs, I think the Flames aren't going away anytime soon, and it's going to be a battle for that 4th spot. And the Habs are going to be pushing hard. Yeah. So, and then, they've got 1 against Toronto, which it's going to be a fight. But honestly, in that North division, I mean, anything can happen. So, yeah, I mean, definitely look at them. They've got some injured players, but listen, they're starting to get their stride back a little bit. So, I mean, I still love Nick Suzuki in a lot of my leagues. He can show up out of nowhere and get a Hattie or something. But yeah, so definitely keep an eye on those Habs players.
Yeah, it's been interesting with some of those Habs guys because I've had a few of them all year, and it's one week they're awful, and the next week they're killing it. So I've got Tatar and Suzuki, and it's just hard to keep riding them, but I still got them, and I'm going to ride them for now.
They kill it so great the weeks that they kill it that you absolutely cannot dream of.
I know. It's tough.
Take the L this week, bud.
Yeah,
See you in the playoffs. I hope it's on is it an odd week? Is it?
Yeah.
I've really got to get that bye week so I can avoid my downfall.
Yeah, there you go. I'm tailing the Capitals this week. They've won 7 of their last 10 as of recording. That's going to change. Promise you that they're going to keep winning though. This week they're going to take on the Flyers twice, Sabres once, and the Bruins once. There's a lot to look at here. There's a lot of guys available as well. So I would highly suggest with the 4-game week this week and a couple of the bad teams like the Flyers and the Sabres, there's a few guys to consider here. I've got Jacob Vrana, left wing, 52% owned. He's grabbable in, like I said, not many leagues, but if you got him, grab him. Justin Schultz, D, 30% rostered, 18 points. He's a second D pair guy. He's on the second power play unit, and he'll get you blocks as well. I've got a little bit of everything for you on this list, by the way. If you need blocks, if you need hits, they cover it. Their guys cover it.
Davy's a one-stop shop.
So they got it all. Connor Sheary, left wing, right wing. He's 0 to 1% owned right now. And he's got 8 goals, 6 assists. He's playing second line with Backstrom and Wilson. And now he's on the second power play unit as well. That's a sneaky guy. 0 to 1% owned. You'll get him. So And then there's Garnett Hathaway, which if you need hits, this is your guy. He's 6% owned. He's got 4 goals, 9 assists, and he's just railing on the hits. He's right wing eligibility. Little bit of everything on the Capitals for you to pick from right now. I'm tailing them. They've got an easier week and expect some of these guys to be on the score sheet.
Going with the Maple Leafs. Davey brought in great analytics. I don't have my thought process for this week is they got 4 games: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. They play the Habs, Flames, Jets, and Canucks. Maybe.
That's a week.
See. 4 different teams in that division. All beside the Canucks, potential playoff teams. They need to show, hey, we're the top dog in this conference division. Excuse me. We are going to dominate this week, carry them into the playoffs to kind of solidify that role that they've been carrying. Austin Matthews tearing it up. Nylander, Mitch Marner. Tavares a little slow, if we're being honest, compared to probably what you spent on draft capital on him wise. But it's just hey, I'm trying to get any Leaf exposure I can right now because I feel like they're going to have a solid week.
I've got a random question for you guys. Do you like, and the listeners might not even care about this, but I've thought about this last week, and it's, do you like teams that are playing the same team a couple times that week, or do you like in this scenario where they're playing all 4 different teams? What do you prefer? What are you looking for fantasy wise? I mean, I've brought up teams where they play like the Flyers twice. I've got Capitals on, but so I don't know.
I think different teams. I think that playing the same team multiple times leads. And listen, I'm pulling this out of my ass. I could be statistically wrong here, but it feels like they score less. Maybe the defense kind of gets into their groove a little bit against the team. But yeah, I like it when they're playing a different team during the week.
I personally think that, I like it when they're playing different teams. That's more realistic to a regular night.
Yeah.
I think that it is more of a recency bias that you say, oh, they're scoring a little less because it is the exact same matchup. But like you think across 4 games where the Preds play the Blues all year in a normal season, well, back to back to back, it may be, 5-2 and then, 1-0. And then, so it looks like it progresses differently, but teams just know each other better. So
it's true.
So, I mean, there probably is no statistical information that would back that up. It's just more of a feeling, I guess. Yeah.
All right, let's move into who are we fading. Bondo, why don't you start us off?
Yeah. Just gonna go.
I'm laughing at it. I love it. I love your pick.
We're just gonna go with the obvious here. I'm gonna be fading any type of Buffalo Sabre action that I have. Maybe Olmark. If
man, you had to bend over to get that food, huh?
Team is bad. 4 games, Boston Capitals and the Penguins twice. The team is just real. They're just real bad. So yeah,
they're just bad.
That's it. I mean, there are teams with less games, and normally you kind of use that as my baseline. I would rather have 2 games with a lot of these other teams than 4 is enough. Are they enough?
Are they yet statistically eliminated from the playoffs, or do they have like a point?
So you're telling me there's a potential chance?
Because I don't see I don't see anything next to their name on the standings, which tells me that they where they haven't
not eliminated.
They haven't clinched yet.
Roll it out.
This is like a a participation year. Nobody gets eliminated.
That's what it is,
here. Nobody. You're not gonna come and play extra hockey with us because you won.
But you can still come to the bubble. You can hang out with us.
You can bubble up.
You can bring the orange slices. Everyone's got to have a job.
You got orange slice. Not cheese puffs.
Yeah.
No.
Not you, Taylor Hall. You're not invited.
Yeah. They are. Yeah. That's it. That's pretty much it. They're just, not good.
Hey, the fans come here for super in-depth analysis, and that's what they get.
Yeah.
they get hot takes like Buffalo ain't no good.
Yeah, there's a few guys out there that are probably like, oh man, but Olofsson, he was a highly touted guy this year, and he was supposed to be good, and he's available because everyone dropped him. Should I get him? Is he going to turn it around? No, he's not going to turn it around.
No.
Don't get him.
No.
That's basically
if he
what
turns it
Bond
around,
is saying.
if he turns it around, great. But when he doesn't, you don't have to be the bearer of that weight.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah. It's so true. Like, I want to drop Eichel. He's on IR, and I don't want to drop him. I'm getting pissed, but I'm fading the Blues this week.
It's Bobby every week.
Gosh. Yeah, I know. I stole Bobby's this week.
The Blues suck.
Oh, I like that. We should make that a thing. They've won 6 of their last 20 as of recording. Expect that in the 6 to not change. It's going to be 6 of 25 next time we speak, and they're not going to win. They're done, guys. They've literally, it's taken them. I mean, they took them from 3rd to 6th in the division in not long in 20 games. I mean, less than that.
Remember like 2 weeks ago when I misspoke and said like I said, oh, their record will turn. Like I think they were like at the time like 10, and I was like, oh, they'll turn. And you were like, oh, really? Want to bet on it? It's not far off. I don't remember. I'll have to go back and listen. I can't remember what the exact. Like I messed up, and I think that you said like they were like 10-5, and I said they could become like 10-15 if they're not careful. And I was like, oh, never mind, I misspoke. But they're not. It's not too far off.
You're pretty close.
Bobby wants credit for something he backed out of in the time. You only get credit.
And I
if
think
you
I edited it out of the
with
episode
it.
because it was too much of a mix.
This is all very convenient. He's like,
I got the raw episode.
He's like, that's what I was going
going
to say. He's like, I got the raw files.
I'm officially ruling them out of the playoffs. They're done. Get rid of them. There's a couple fantasy relevant guys on the team, but still, I'm ruling them out.
You sound like Jim Cramer on the on that stock show.
Mad Money, dude.
Yeah.
Old Mad Money Davey.
That's me. What can I say?
Yeah, I'm fading, and it's that is. But the Preds, listen, they've been great, but you know what? They're about to hit a wall, a tough wall, which is they got the Lightning and the Canes this week. Now, I think after this week they'll come back home, but for this week, just, wait and watch. I don't think they're gonna. I think that they've been on a hot run, but I think good things come to an end, especially for the Preds. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens after the trade deadline. But I don't know, man. I'm not really. I guess this episode comes out on trade deadline day. But man, I don't like what I'm gonna see. I don't think it's gonna be pretty this week for the Preds.
Yeah, that's tough, man. You want to be like, okay, you're wrong. You're wrong. They're going to keep playing hot and good hockey, and the goaltending is going to be stellar. It's just not going to be the case. Yeah. You're right.
I think the best thing for the Preds, honestly, would just be to see if they show up to play.
Yeah,
that's the best thing you could hope for, really, as a fan.
I'm not going.
And I think and listen, I think that I think from a fantasy point of view, it could be okay for those Canes games, but I think they're going to get shut down against the Lightning. I think the Lightning is too much of a complete team who's skidding a little bit. And I think that the Lightning are going to correct, and I think the Preds are going to be the game where they overcorrect and just they walk out of there with like a shutout, like an 8-0 shutout.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, but I mean, we've seen the Lightning do this before. Let's not act like we haven't seen a team just because they won the Cup this past year. This team of superstars has got swept in the first round, being the President's Cup winner. So, yeah, they may come out of it. I mean, I just think that, they may catch the Hurricanes looking ahead.
I believe.
I mean, it's.
I don't have the exact stat, but I believe the Preds against Carolina, Tampa, and Florida are something like 3-16 or something like that, and which means that
it's pretty good.
So, I mean, they're all their wins are coming against Chicago, Dallas, Columbus, Detroit. Now, listen, obviously play your Preds players. I think they're going to shut down the big guys. I think Arvid's going to get shut down. I think they're going to shut down Forsberg.
Is he okay after that injury?
I don't have an update. I know. Okay. I think he's flying. He flew with the team to Detroit, but I don't think he's playing right now.
Okay.
That's something we'll keep an eye out on. But yeah, so that's about it for this week. Hopefully we get some big.
Real quick, I just wanted to comment on that. Do you think that the Hurricanes would be a less scary team if they were actual Canes instead of
man,
Hurricanes?
Oh man, maybe they should be.
Just like, their mascot was like a large cane.
Well, if you flip the stick around on the
what if it was Michael Caine
flag there?
obviously I would
Scarier?
that'd be amazing.
Are they
I'd
like
be a total fan
the Evander,
of the Canes.
the Evander Canes?
Ooh.
Ooh, if they
No.
got him.
He's got it now. He's like, wait, can I
he's
sue
not going to
them for
spend.
copy?
He's not going to spend any money on stadium upgrades whatsoever.
Yeah.
He's gonna
That's
sell.
true.
He's gonna like sell. Like they're not gonna have any concern. He's like, oh, well, I sold them. It's all a parking garage now.
It's like
Yeah.
like the NHL. It's like he's like loaning players. Like, dude, bro, this isn't soccer. So
But-
he's borrowing.
But, all right, everyone. We will see you next week, and good luck.
Peace.
This has been the Fantasy Goons podcast, brought to you by Standing Stone Farms. Listen to the boys every week and join in on the conversation on the three majors of social media.